Hey, kids and other kids. Nope. I'll start over. Hey, boys, and welcome to...
Just boys.
All girls better stop listening right now. This is a boys-only episode.
Hot Wheels.
And cigarettes.
Lots of muscles.
Whenever you're ready.
Homestar Runner. All right. Hey guys, and welcome to The Meet Cute, the podcast that's about all things romantic comedy, especially the bad ones. I am Edward.
I'm Haley.
I'm Zach.
And we've got a one for you today.
Oh yeah, we've got a one.
Yeah.
So
that's all I can say.
So this movie is for anyone who's ever thought, what if two regular New Yorker friends grew up to be a rabbi and a priest?
Well, I've got notes about that later, but yes, that is the essential premise.
Well, I know you were thinking about it all the time. So 90% of our listeners were like, oh, they finally made a movie about this? If only they got the detail where they also fall in love with the same girls.
Spoilers.
A reading from Corinthians, chapter 12, section 53.
A rabbi and a priest.
He who grows up with his friend under different religions but commit their lives to the same purpose of forwarding those religions in the modern time will both fall in love with the same blonde friend from 8th grade.
That's right.
And it came true. The Bible is real.
The Bible is real.
The Bible is real, and it is in the form of 2000's American rom-com, Keeping the Faith.
Thank you for saying The Nation. It's the first time we
it's the first American film, everyone.
So
we've been doing nothing but German rom-coms for the past 40 episodes.
I love you.
I love you too.
Wait, I want you to understand. I always, when I introduce these movies, I pull it up on Wikipedia to get all the details to introduce it, and in every single one it says blah 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 is a 1998 American rom-com film, and I always managed in my mind to mentally go, okay, skip the American part. That's stupid. But here I am. I didn't skip it this time.
I think this movie was weird in all the right ways and all the wrong ways.
Yeah.
And I think that's an example of it, how everything's just a little thrown off by this movie.
Yeah, I'm thrown off with number one. This was directed by Edward Norton.
I wish he was a better person.
Is he a bad person?
He's like a difficult to work with
Drag
person.
him.
Yeah.
He's difficult to work with.
He's like, well, there's a reason he's not the Hulk anymore. He was like,
Oh, I thought just because he didn't want to do it.
no,
You didn't wanna-
people didn't want him to do it.
You didn't want to see him when he's angry, as you could say.
Because the
Like
Hulk,
the crew didn't like him?
like he tried to control the movie more than they wanted him to.
Oh, which makes sense that people tell you to skip that one in the MCU, which I did.
Right.
Because the directing in this, pretty bad. Some weird choices.
Weird, yes.
And they
I don't
felt,
want to start out too early, but go on.
yeah, and just like, we'll go into specifics, but I feel like weird and not in a sense of like, oh, it was 2000, they were normal and it's just dated.
Right.
I think a lot of them were weird for 2000 too. And
Yeah.
they're just
No,
like,
this was weird.
yeah.
Like, the direction was so weird, and we're going to get into specifics, of course.
Also, blonde Edward Norton, blonde Kathy Bates.
Oh, same
I don't know,
universe.
maybe we'll talk about it.
Welcome back to the blonde cast.
The blonde cinematic universe.
Yeah, I've got some notes. So before we get into the details, let me just give you a quick summary to catch you all up on 2000's Keeping the Faith, because I know it's been a minute since you've seen it. So, we got Jake and Brian. Jake is Jewish. Brian is Catholic. They've been friends since they were children, and they were friends with Amy. Is that her name?
No.
Anna.
You're the wrong person to do this summary. Keep going.
They're friends with Anna when they were all kids. The three of them were fucking inseparable.
Oh, baby.
Anna went off to live her life, while Jake and Brian remained best friends in New York City. Jake is a rabbi. Brian, a priest.
Yeah, like a 13-year-old rabbi and a 13-year-old priest.
No, they're adults now, and they've grown into Ben Stiller and Edward Norton.
That's right.
And in this universe, Ben Stiller's hot. Go on.
We'll get there. Everyone loves Ben Stiller. Yeah, they want his body.
Who doesn't?
And they're trying to open up a club together, like a religious...
Like an interfaith club.
Yeah, like a place where all religions can come and chill and have a nice time and celebrate believing and stuff. But they're also like real hot shots. Like they like doing modern stuff in their churches and temples. Anna comes back to town and Ben Stiller basically immediately falls in love with her, and he walks to her hotel room one night and kisses her, and they have a great budding romance. There's plenty of montages of them just kind of being in love. And everyone wants Ben Stiller to get married. They say, you got to marry a nice Jewish girl. Everyone's trying to set him up with their daughters. And Ben Stiller's like, I got this girl, Anna. She's not Jewish, but I love her. Edward Norton, on the other hand, is like also into Anna, but we don't get to see that as clearly. They have a few scenes together where it seems like they get along well.
Yeah.
But then one night, Ben Stiller and Anna get into a fight, and he's like, this isn't going to work. And they break it off. And she calls Edward Norton, and she's like, I need to talk. And he gets to her hotel room, and he's like, I love you too, and starts kissing on her. And she's like, no, I love Ben Stiller. She says that line.
She says that line, and she looks at the camera and screams, I love Ben Stiller.
And you hear cut and then a quick fade. And Edward Norton's like, I'm so humiliated. This is insane. Of course you called me, your old friend, the priest. Some time passes. Ben Stiller and Edward Norton have a big argument about it. And one of them punches the other. I don't remember who punches who.
Edward Norton punches Ben Stiller.
Edward Norton punches, like the Irish Catholic he is. I said it.
Yeah.
And he, in fact, said it.
Yeah.
He was like, I'm Irish. No, I think that's a little he did. Yeah.
So he punches Ben Stiller. But after time, they make up. And Ben Stiller's like, you know what? I love Anna. So the day before she leaves, he goes to her office and he's like, I love you, baby. And they get together, and the three of them are inseparable again. They open up their faith club, and at the end, we have a super weird credit sequence. And that is 2000's Keeping the Faith.
Yes.
Bet.
Now let's dive in fully. Like, from the beginning. Let's start.
I'm going to start off because you two aren't going to agree.
Uh-oh.
But I'm just going to say it right now. I like how this movie was about religious people without it pushing religion on us.
Oh, why would we disagree with that?
I don't know. I figured you two would, for some reason, would disagree with that.
Why would we? Because we're so religious. We want to push our religion onto everyone.
No, I thought it would be like an anti-religious thing.
Can I tell a story?
Yeah.
Okay. So I have a really old close friend of mine. We're not good friends anymore, but we used to be really close friends. I won't say his actual name, so let's just call him John. His mom was like crazy Christian woman, like wildly Christian. And I was not raised with like any kind of religion at all. My dad was Catholic, mom was Jewish, but no one knows anything.
Yeah.
So we've been friends, me and this kid, for like years. We would have sleepovers all the time. It was a good time. And one time in high school, I'm at his house, and I'm talking.
Oh, this story. Okay.
Yeah. I'm talking to his mom about something, just as you know how you talk to your friends' moms about.
Oh, yeah.
Just like
catching up online.
Yeah,
you were in college, right?
I might have been in college.
You were in college
for the summer and like at his
You were.
house.
You were like catching up on all your professional like new developments and stuff. I remember this. Yeah.
All my professional developments. We were. Yeah, and we were just talking as you do, and then somehow religion got brought up. I don't know. She was saying she had to go to church or something, and she was saying like, "Oh well, like your mom's Jewish and your dad's Catholic, right?" And I was like, "Yeah," and she's like, "Oh well, so you like weren't really like raised with much religion, right?" I was like, yeah, none really. She goes, a lot of people who have like a parent from each, like that's the case. They don't get raised with anything. It's such a shame. And I was like, you can't say that to me. That's very unchristian.
It's such a shame you didn't end up more like my son, who is just lightly racist, dumb, and my husband, who is an alcoholic.
And fully racist.
What a shame.
Yeah. Not to put him on blast, but yeah, I mean, everyone's got their own problems.
You gave him a fake name, right?
I did.
Yeah, what's his fake last name and fake address?
50612.
24601. You do this all the time.
No, I haven't done this since like episode 12, I'm sure.
Yeah, come on.
Wait, I already forgot it.
24601.
2222.
Oh, I remember because George said, our friend George, hasn't been on the podcast, said it's like 4 even numbers and a 1. And I think that's how I remembered it for a while.
4, 6, oh, yep. Okay.
I mean, that's my story.
Anyway, of course, no, I like religion. I'm down with religion.
All right.
I'm not anti-religion at all.
No.
Yeah.
There was this play I saw a few years ago called The Christians by Lucas Nath. And it
Shout out to Lucas.
Shout out to Luke.
Is that a fake name?
It's a fake name. Lucas Honath. And it was about church, but it didn't also didn't try to push religion. But it was in the form of a sermon. And so these two people behind me, like when the choir started singing, they went, "Ugh!" And I was like, "It's what? It's not church.
Yeah, you're not at church right now. Church is way more boring.
Yeah. They were like, oh, boo. I was like, what do you want? It's called the Christians.
Yeah, what were you expecting?
I want to write
Just two guys named Christian.
That's what I was going to say. I want to write a two-person play where it's like, hey, I'm Christian, and I'm also Christian.
We hate being Christian.
Has anyone seen my bowl?
The guy behind me, yeah. All right.
Now this
I wouldn't say yuck to this.
This is art.
But Haley, you said you want to start from the
I
beginning.
want to start from the
Great.
beginning. So Anna moves away, and they continue with their lives. Now, I don't have a relationship with my best friend from when I was 13, and if he came back, I wouldn't be like, right back where we left, because 13 is very young. So I think it's weird to have made Anna leave so young.
Who was your best friend in 13?
I'm just like picking
Yeah, is he
a
hot
person.
now? What is,
no, okay.
I'm thinking, say, like just someone random, like Dave. Like I was thinking, like Dave. If
Gotcha.
Dave came back, we wouldn't like be like, yes, we're,
Yeah, you'd have a casual lunch or like coffee or something and be like, hey.
Exactly. It wouldn't be like, the gang back together again and our most formative years. No, like if it were like high school or something, I'd believe it. But the fact that she was like, just like where we picked off. I'm like, yeah, you mean like when you were a child?
I think it depends on the person, because there is a guy who we see each other maybe never a year.
Mm-hmm.
But when we do get back together, it is like old times, if only because we only knew each other during those times. And so we don't have anything new to talk about.
Yeah.
Or And so it's like, I remember the joking in the old days. Mm-hmm. And so we become those people. So that's different, but the same, I guess.
But for this case, I feel like they were just like, yes, the best friends in the world back together again. And I'm like, no, you were children. This wasn't like, you know, it just felt like they're a little too young. Had they done it like they lost each other after high school, like graduation or whatever, I would have bought into it.
And
more.
it also seemed like they didn't keep in touch at all, which I know it's 2000. It's not like social media.
Right.
But like the way that they were talking, like, what do you do for work? Blah, blah, blah. It seems like they had no.
Yeah,
and
none
they
whatsoever.
picked her up from the airport.
Yeah.
Like she didn't have a closer person in the city she grew up in to pick her up from the airport, except these strange people she kind of knew for 1 year when she was 13.
Yeah, and she hasn't been back to New York City.
Yeah.
Did she have parents? I know that's circumstantial, but did they ever?
Yeah, she had parents.
Well, there's that whole scene where like she's like, and I was born in that lab. I'm a monster, and Ben Stiller's
Right.
No, don't worry.
And then they play the movie Splice, and she was like, "This is my life. I was Splice."
And we see all of Splice, but from a smaller TV. And the sound's not that good.
So now a big part of this film is that Ben Stiller wants to be like head rabbi at his temple.
King Rabbi.
He wants to be King Rabbi, which would be a great like band name. There's King Princess. There's also King Rabbi.
King Rabbi.
Pretty good artist name. Anyway, he wants to be King Rabbi, but he's like, nobody in 18 million years has been an unmarried King Rabbi. So I need to find a nice Jewish girl and settle down within 6 months. So he's going out on a lot of dates. And Anna and Edward Norton are like trying to cheer him on. In one case, they go on a double date. That double date where Ben Stiller's like, hey, you and Anna, Edward Norton, pretend to be a couple, and I'll go out with this hot news girl. And they get like way too into it, Edward Norton and Anna.
Yes, I think this is from her. She's very casual with kissing people.
Yes, which was a problem throughout the whole movie.
Yeah.
Where she was still like just kissing him on the street, on his mouth.
Yeah, like, all right, see you later.
And then... But then it like dropped off for a long time, and you didn't check in with Edward Norton for a long time. So how long was Anna just like kissing him on the street for? I wonder.
This felt like, and I guess because of the beginning, this felt like Edward Norton's movie. No, this felt like it was supposed to be Edward Norton's movie, and it was somehow Ben Stiller's movie instead.
Yes, exactly.
That's kind of, when Haley and I were talking about this, that's kind of my big takeaway from it, is that I feel like if it were like a clear division between... Because, I guess that they paint at the end like a sort of a love triangle.
Yeah.
Like, if it were a clear division of like, here's all the reasons why he loves her and why their relationship is this. Here's all the reasons why Ben Stiller loves her and why their relationship is this. And then we had to like have some kind of decision. It would feel like a more even story.
Right.
But it felt like a fully realized rom-com between Ben Stiller and Anna with Edward Norton at the end being like, but
I'm in love.
Yeah,
Surprise twist ending. I'm in love with you because you kissed me that one time.
Completely unjustified because we didn't see any of that when we saw a lot of her relationship with Ben Stiller, and it felt good. It was well done.
Yeah. That's
now
fair.
I also want to talk about all of the women he was set up with, and everyone in his temple, Ben Stiller's temple. They all put on New York Jew voice. All of them.
They all went, ugh.
Yeah.
They were all the guy behind me.
They were all like the concerned Jewish mother, like talking about like this. And I was like, oh God, all of them, including Cuddy from House.
Well, I mean, it's a lot,
House
but
MD?
is it completely off? I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't
To
know.
have an entire congregation where they all talk like this. You know Jewish people.
You've met the one.
You have a mother.
And she talks like that.
She does not talk like this all the time.
Yeah, she's not that bad. Yeah.
Is Holland Taylor Jewish? Because I picture her as the waspiest creature in the world.
Who?
The mom, not
the mom
Jake's
of the
mom, the mom
reporter.
of the yeah.
Oh, I have no idea. She seems very. I don't know. Let's find
I
out.
picture her
2.5 Men fame
as George of the Jungle antagonist Holland Taylor.
It doesn't say on Wikipedia if she's Jewish, but she's from Philadelphia, so probably not.
So probably not.
Can we cut the part where I said that it's an accurate depiction of Jewish people?
That might not be clean cut.
That's all right. That's all right. So what's your next note?
Okay, my next note. She had claimed to be like the busiest businesswoman in the world, but still had time to go to the cloisters with her friend from 8th grade and his mom.
And she
like,
was
constantly.
always out. Yeah. Now, they did make a point about a cell phone, to be fair, but she was only on it when he was complaining about it. She wasn't ever like...
She only talked about being married to her cell phone. She was like, my cell phone's my life. I die without my phone. I'm business. I'm like, bitch, you go to the Met every day.
You're staring at art in a famously poor reception area.
Yeah. Like, I don't think you're that busy, actually.
Yeah.
Like, she's always, like, strolling in Central Park. Again, with her friend from 8th grade. Not even her best friend in the world.
What was she? What did she do for a living? Did we know, or did I just not pay attention?
I think she was saying she like goes in and makes businesses better, basically.
Okay.
Something like that.
Okay, sure.
Something very vague.
Yeah.
Also, I thought she was only supposed to be in New York like a few days, and then all of a sudden she was like, I go to the Met every week. I'm like, how many months is she here?
What is this?
Why is Ben Stiller's hair so spiked?
Why is he...
And why is he the hot guy? Edward Norton keeps saying like, oh, everyone falls in love with you. You're the hot shot. Everyone loves you. People trip and fall in love with you all the time. You know, we're just walking and all of a sudden people are following you and they say, I want your dick.
This is the year right before Zoolander, so it's not like he's got that model fame.
Oh, yeah.
Yet.
And his hair is so spiky.
So spiky. Somebody saw Keeping the Faith and they were like, let's do this, but he's a model.
And it's believable? No. What else?
Oh, well, maybe I'll wait.
Oh, I have these notes written specifically. Why is Ben Stiller's hair so spiked?
Great.
They sexed. Then I wrote in quotes, down to be friends who fuck, basically is what Anna said. And I was like, wow, what a modern woman.
Yeah.
And then I wrote, and she still kisses Priest on the mouth?
She does.
After she had sex with Ben Stiller, she was still kissing Edward Norton on the mouth.
Now, I did have friends who did that. Who, like, kissed people on the mouth, like, casually, like, as a goodbye.
Sure.
That's still a weird... Okay, that's still a foreign thing to do, I think. I feel like that's a very...
Yeah.
Your non-American, non-2000 thing to do, I guess.
Yeah.
So it did stick out to me.
When Zach gets back, I really want to talk about all of the weird Edward Norton film choices.
Yeah, I want to talk
There's
about all
still
the
a lot
vignettes.
of them. Yeah.
Because, well,
okay. This is going to be a weird episode to edit because there's so many PC things we have to do.
Just like the movie.
Yeah. I want to talk about Edward Norton's really weird directing choices.
Yep.
Let's talk about some of the weirdest things Edward Norton did. One of the first ones I can think of is the scene where Ben Stiller gives like a freaking awesome sermon. What do you call it?
Sermon, yeah.
Sermon. And everyone's like fucking loving it. And he's like trying to find Edward Norton and Anna. They're in the back of the room, and everyone's like congratulating him and be like, "You're amazing. You're amazing. You want to fuck my daughter? You want to fuck my daughter?" And Edward Norton's got all these really like stagnant, quick, like almost looks like a music video. Like shoots where he's like, what? And it's like cut of him like flipping around. That was so weird. And like out of like,
I think this was edited in iMovie.
That's what it looked like. It looked like it was edited in iMovie.
Because my other
thesis project.
It was like they did the same look like 3 times.
The other weird thing was like there was a few moments where it would show like a photo or something, and the photo would just like, I don't know, it was like stay as if you made like a photo montage in
That's exactly
iMovie.
what happened. There was a part where Anna was looking at a photo book with Ben Stiller's mom, and it was like her looking through wedding photos, which we didn't even need to see this scene.
No.
And the photos were coming on the screen like it was a montage, like you make for your bar mitzvah.
Like a screensaver.
Exactly. And then it would like zoom in slowly on like someone's teeth on the picture.
Using the Burns effect. Yeah.
Exactly.
It says a good movie like the Burns effect.
Yeah, it like switched with like a star zooming in. And then it was like then the sound of like it changed. There was one scene where it was Ben Stiller talking to another rabbi in a hallway, but it was like 20 minutes long, and it was from the furthest distance at the end of the hallway.
Yeah.
Like it was like a deep indie movie.
Yeah, that was weird. There was a scene where Jenna Elfman and it sounds like 3 people. Jenna Elfman and Ben Stiller were in a bed, and it's just like every time she like turned, it would show a close up of her leg like turning.
Yeah, it was like, ooh, look at that sexy
leg
shin.
Yeah,
Ed Norton's super into shins.
Yeah.
Now, what I want on camera right here is a close up of your shin. And I just want to tell a story. And you're going to do your lines, but I'm not going to show your mouth. It's going to be mostly shin. You're going to love it. It's fine.
Yeah, just lots of sloppy shin. What was that word? Nothing. Just normal shin.
You know, normal shins.
Normal,
stuff.
non-hot.
Quietly barks at their shins and goes, "You'll fucking never make it in this town. You goddamn fucking sheen on you. Fuck you."
Also, there was that.
And that's why he wasn't invited to be the Hulk.
Also, there was the scene where it was Edward Norton's character having like the sex dream.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, that was a lot.
Which they got me. Edward Norton, you got me. Didn't know that was going to be a dream sequence right away. It was them like running through the park, him and Anna, and
that's right. Yeah.
she was like, "You're in such good shape. Should have taken that as a cue, but I didn't."
Oh, your shins are so hot, she says.
Real quick, just to go back to the Anna debate, the 2 N's are silent. I just don't want you to mispronounce for the rest of the episode. Let's talk about one thing.
Wait, you interrupted me.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
Okay. Well, she's like, "You're in such good shape." And they're like running together. And she's like, "I can't run anymore. I'm so tired from that running. Oh, I pulled something. Won't you stretch me?" And I was like, I don't know why I'm buying this. I was like,
I think I know why you bought it. It's because she's so like casual with kissing. I was like,
You're
okay,
right.
she's
That's
just
it.
like a little open sexually.
Yeah, I guess that was it.
Because that's my thought anyway. I was like, oh, she just does this with
Yeah,
friends.
but then Edward Norton's stretching her, and he's like, "Yeah, you like that? You like that? Take it." And then she was like stretching her leg, and she's like, "Oh, my leg." And then
Friends.
And then in the sex dream, I guess sex dream I say in quotations because it was just stretching. She took the sweat off his forehead and licked it.
Salt.
That's what she said. It was the line from The Last Jedi.
Yeah, that was, I don't know, even, I was thinking to myself, I'm like, if they're gonna,
Salt.
is that a line from The Last Jedi?
It
Some
is
guy
for no reason.
He rubs his finger along the ground. He puts it in his mouth. He goes, salt. And the guy next to him's like, huh?
That's it.
Okay, class, let's get back to work. Yeah, I don't know. But it was one of those things, yeah, the way she acts around them is like, I don't know, it's just kind of bizarre. And that's why I think that scene like made sense almost until it got insane. But before then, it was like, yeah, she's like just kind of, I don't know. I guess she doesn't realize.
Like a flirty kind of person.
She's like a San Fran gal.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was like down with her in the beginning of the movie, and then
and maybe Edward Norton doesn't see that she did that with Ben Stiller too, so that's why he assumed like, oh, she must be in love with me.
Maybe that's it. Yeah.
But we don't know because we don't get enough.
But we
of
don't see Edward Norton in this movie.
But we get so much of non-plot. There's so many things that just weren't part of the main plot.
Like, what's his name? Is his name Dan, Dong, or Dong?
Don.
Or Don.
It's
just
Don, but what is Ken Leung doing in this movie?
Because there's this whole scene where Edward Norton shows up at Ben Stiller's house and is like, we gotta go karaoke machine shopping.
And that's a good 15 minutes of them shopping for a karaoke machine.
And at this point, I had forgotten that their whole mission was to open this like youth club for religious
decorated
people.
Interfaith thing.
Yeah, this movie is very pro karaoke, and I'm not sure if that's something I personally identify with, but it was nice to see it on.
It was nice to see. Yeah.
But Ken Leung was like doing a Asian accent, and I was
Mickey Rooney from Breakfast at
exactly.
Tiffany's.
And I was like, oh no, is this going to be one of those things where the whole joke is he's Asian? But then he randomly snaps out of it.
Drops the accent.
Yeah, he sees that Edward Norton is wearing the priest collar.
Right.
And is like, what, man? And it's just
dang.
That's crazy,
You
dude.
guys like karaoke too?
Yeah.
Maybe Catholicism is cool.
I was like, why did you think the accent was going to help you sell karaoke machines?
Right,
I was so confused by that
He
choice.
also like leaned in when he did it. So like, does his boss want him to be like a caricature? What
is it because
weird
karaoke is Japanese?
Did he watch Miss Saigon once and was like, yeah?
You know what? This movie does not push religion, but it does push doing karaoke for fun.
It does.
Yeah.
And
do you guys like karaoke? I feel like I don't like karaoke.
I tried for years to think that I was someone who liked karaoke. I tried to think that I was someone who liked karaoke.
That was a lot of work for you.
And I think I'm at a point where I'm just like, you know what? I don't need to hear people sing.
Right.
Because I have coworkers who want to like go out and do karaoke, and I'm like, here's my struggle with karaoke. I can sing, but I don't want to put on a song where I sound good, because then that's just performing for my friends, and that's weird, and I don't want them to see that.
That's what I mean. Here's the thing. Everybody does the voice, and it's the same voice they do when they impersonate a pop punk band, and we're all guilty of it, and I'm guilty of it.
Yes.
But the karaoke voice people put on is the same voice where they'll be like, I'm going down.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
And it's like, fuck off. That's not what it is. That song raised you, and you will
respect it.
Yeah, exactly. And people do it with every karaoke song. They put on a voice because it's like, I'm doing karaoke.
Because they're not confident enough singers to be like, ooh, let me use a real voice that I have.
But I have friends who love karaoke who are not singers.
Right,
like,
yeah.
People who just love doing karaoke.
And that's fine. But I mean, like, it's one of those things where it's a weird thing because it's like, I don't want to like do the voice to be like, yes, I'm doing karaoke. But at the same time, to Haley's note, I don't want to like perform for my friends.
Yeah.
So because of that, I just don't find any kind of happy medium.
I'm not purposely going to pick a song I sound good on, because that's like, that's weird. I don't want to like sing for you. Like, then I have to try. I don't want to try to sound good.
So both options just are not fun for me personally.
Right.
And also, I have musical theater friends who go to karaoke, and I'm like, I don't want to see that.
Ugh,
I don't want to
hate
hear your musical theater
people.
vibrato singing Britney Spears Toxic.
Right.
No, thank you.
Because they think they're good.
Oh, yes.
Well, they want to perform for their friends.
Yes, they want to perform.
And that's worse.
They're doing full Jessie J songs, trying to like riff, but they still have their Broadway, their musical theater vibrato.
Right. They're from Poughkeepsie, so like.
So the verdict on karaoke is we're not going to go do a meet cute karaoke bonding sesh.
But individually, Edward, let's go. Edward, do you like karaoke? Yeah.
So much.
What?
Okay.
No, I hate it. No. Yeah, what if you guys were trashing it? And I was like, and I undo my shirt and it says karaoke life.
Well, that's what I wanted to clarify, because I'm like, Edward's being awful quiet over there.
No.
What's he hiding?
Voicing, do
Do you ever get a monologue karaoke?
Yeah, monologue karaoke is good. Soliloquy karaoke, great.
It's ambient noises of whatever like the location is for the scene.
Denmark. Just a castle in Denmark.
22.
That'd be so funny. But you know what should be done? I'm glad we're going off on a tangent, because this movie's crazy. We don't need to spend too much time on it. I need to talk about, okay, people love lip syncing. Why don't people go out and do like
lip sync,
like instead of karaoke? Like they play a song and they give you just like a dumb props and like a stage and lights, and you just like lip sync for your friends. Idea. That'd be way more fun.
That'd be good in like a public thing as opposed to like renting a private room.
Yeah, but like a lot of karaoke places are just like at the back of a bar or whatever.
Yeah, I guess so. I guess I've only been to
rooms.
Like private rooms.
I would do it in private rooms too, like with friends.
No, I would prefer like a public
and like a
thing,
green
then
screen
we're all
or something.
in on the joke.
Yeah,
you know?
That'd be fun though. That'd be more fun than karaoke.
I'd like that.
Wow,
competitions.
Yeah.
Be very fun.
Lip sync offs. That's such a thing now, guys.
It's a show.
That's fun. We should pitch that.
Walmart.
Well, bars should start doing lip sync nights instead of karaoke nights, and then I would go.
I hear you.
I hear you. Well, we should get back into this movie.
Anyway, yeah. What are some other things that happened that were not?
My big note is about the end. So if you guys have other things before we get to that point, please
let me see.
Jump in.
Yeah.
Ooh, wow. There's a quote from the movie which is something I don't need to say out loud, but I will. It's someone said 2 mix and a yid, and I think Ed Norton said it about
what they called themselves.
I think that
when they were 13.
When
that's
they were
what
13,
they called themselves.
they called themselves 2 mix and a yid, and I think that's weird.
I don't think a single 13-year-old has ever said that.
I don't think they should.
Ever. My Jewish friends call me the shiksa.
Right.
Girlfriend. Yeah. See, we're doing the voice.
The karaoke voice.
Actually, Say Anything does sound like that, so that's one that we can let it go.
I have one more note, and then we can go to the end. They're at one point in a cafe. They're like pretending to like have coffee at a cafe, but it's clearly a Barnes & Noble cafe.
Yes.
But they're not like, they don't have bags of books or anything. They're not like, oh, we should go get a book. Nope, they're just in a cafe. Like, they're just in a Barnes & Noble cafe pretending it's like a Starbucks or something. Anyway.
Was that the only filming location they could get?
Yeah,
like the Union Square Starbucks
they couldn't go to
in
the
Barnes & Noble?
Bean, so they were like, oh, let's just go up the street.
Yeah, they probably just snuck in one cameraman there. Yeah. And that's the scene where Edward Norton randomly did a Rain Man impression for no reason.
It's kind of
like
funny, but it was weird.
6 minutes, though. It was really long.
Yeah. It just kind of felt like the reason I say it's kind of funny, it kind of felt like one of those like weird things you do with friends.
Right.
Yes, which I kind of liked because there was also another scene where Anna randomly asked one question in an English accent. I was like, I do that with friends.
Yeah.
Where all of a sudden we're talking, and I was like, oh, and did you like that? And then I go back to my normal voice.
Yeah. So that's why I actually liked that moment, because I was like, oh, that felt like a real like moment between the three of them, not a movie moment.
I will say they all got along pretty well, like chemistry wise.
I think I would have
give it a rating, but
more happily watched a movie just about their friendship than any romance.
Yeah.
Yeah. And same with, I would have actually rather watched the movie Sans Anna. I just had these two being pals.
Yeah.
Because I was enjoying it.
And him like trying to set up Jake throughout the whole movie.
Yeah.
For like 6 months.
Yeah.
Unquote. Yeah.
I don't know.
Dealing with their own
And Edward Norton whole issue seemed super unresolved too.
Edward Norton.
Edward
Norton.
Edward has your Norton.
Oh boy, inflamed.
That means it's healthy.
Yeah. It's doing well.
But because he was like, you made me question my whole life, the fact that I would have given up this whole priesthood thing just to be with you.
Yeah.
If you said you loved me too. But then he seems to get over it.
Yeah.
He just randomly gets over that he's in love with his friend.
What was his conversation with the Polish guy? I wasn't quite listening at the end. He was like, I used to love somebody and now I don't.
Basically, he was just like, I used to love someone.
He was saying that like you're gonna be faced with these challenges all the time, and you just have to make your choice. Figure it out from there.
That's right.
He's like, I'd fall in love with people all the time.
It was the speech from Call Me by Your Name.
It was this.
It was Call Me by Your Name. The whole movie, weirdly enough,
visions
Call Me
of
by
Gideon
Your Name
started playing in the background. It was a whole thing.
And he stared into the Russian guy stared into the fireplace, and it was
stared
like
at the camera. He smiled. It was a whole thing.
Yeah, it was hot.
Okay, now pause, because that Polish/Russian priest who gave him the talk, then they left the house together, and Edward Norton said a full goodbye to him in fluent Spanish.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, was he not Russian? or Polish?
I think he was, because he was played by a guy whose name is what?
And he was saying he left, like, whatever.
Milos. His name is
he was
Milos.
saying he left Russia. He
Yeah,
literally said the words, "When I came from Russia, blah, 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 blah."
Well, I'd like to think that Edward Norton's character thought that he was Spanish like the whole time. He was like, adios. And the guy was like, what?
I love you. That boy's pretty dumb.
I got you some food from your homeland. It's a plate of nachos. Like,
I ate most of them. My jewels.
And that's an improv.
Oh, that's something you don't hear every day.
Oh, you know what scene was weird? The movie theater scene, too, where everyone in the world kept recognizing the rabbi at the movie theater.
oh, yeah. Yeah. There was like, he was at a movie with Jenna Elfman, and then like one pod of Jews came up.
Wow.
And was like, right? That's what they're called.
That's the brand.
And they were like, oh, rabbi. And then a second set was like, oh, a rabbi. And then another flock came in and was like, oh, a rabbi.
See, you said the word flock with so much hate.
A flock. A flock.
The thing I want to talk about at the end, if we can, may
please,
we?
Please.
Is that...
I'm sorry. Before we get there, sorry.
Oh, I've been teasing these listeners with my
No, sorry.
at the end. Oh.
But while we're talking about the Jewish people from his congregation, from his synagogue, recognizing the rabbi and like being really excited to see him and like, ooh, I want to have the rabbi over for dinner. That's in Miss Maisel a lot.
Yeah.
The Marvelous Miss Maisel. That's like, the rabbi's coming. We got the rabbi. Very exciting. Is that still a thing? Because again, we grew up in a very Jewish community, but never were they like, guess what, Haley? The rabbi's coming over for dinner tonight. That seems kind of lame.
I have no idea.
I don't know.
Like, right?
I don't know.
It feels like an old concept that they put in today. I don't know.
Let me tell you.
Maybe I'm wrong.
Rabbis must be eating good.
Yeah, they're getting all these free dinners.
Casseroles. I don't know what people make.
Brisket 3 nights a week, a roast, some lamb, potatoes, kugel for dessert, maybe an apple strudel.
Yeah,
that sounds good. The apple strudel.
Matzah.
Should we be rabbis for the free food?
Yeah, strictly. All right, so we've been teasing it all episode.
This
freaking ending,
dangling it in front of your face. You're drooling. The ending.
The ending.
Specifically, the very end. Mm-hmm. The story wraps up, and the mom of Ben Stowe's character takes a photo of the three friends, and of course it does the classic Edward Norton move where the photo stays like frozen on the screen.
It spins out and a magic wand sound goes over it.
But then you're like, okay, in my head I said, okay, the photo's here. It's not going anywhere.
Time for the credits.
It's staying still. Here come the credits. No. We turn on like a 90s sitcom song.
Ooh, first off, the photo... oh, wait. Were you about to talk about the text that comes in next to the photo? Or can I...
Oh, no, you can say.
Okay. So the photo comes on, and then some text pops up, which furthered like my thought that the credits were coming. It said like in loving memory of somebody.
It was Robin Norton, which must be his mother.
Relative.
A relative. And said always had faith in somebody, and was like, oh, okay, that's a sweet thing to put before the credits. And no. Anyway, go on.
We didn't get the credits. What we got was sitcom music, and then a quick clip of the three of them walking in the park, sunny day. Mm-hmm. And I thought, okay, are we going to get something out? Are they going to talk?
Bonus scene, what's going to happen?
And it goes from that to a credit sequence, which is close-ups of each character that then like stop and are still
pauses.
Like a sitcom intro with their names, but we're talking every character.
And we're talking the order makes no sense. First we get the three leads, then we get a random rabbi.
Yeah, we get like Eli Wallach.
And then the mom.
Right.
And then a priest I think I saw in one scene. And then like a guy reacting in the movie theater. I swear to you, it was just like...
Boing.
And
it was a guy in the back.
Yeah, super weird order. It's one of those things where it's not like... the movie's not so full of multiple rich characters where they all need their moment in the credits
there are
to
three.
honor it.
Right.
There's three, and there's a lot of small supporting roles.
Yeah.
We don't need to see the
a lot of like
names.
1 to 2 scene characters.
Right.
Yeah, but honestly, one person who I liked it, the first woman he goes on a date with, who like asks him
Cuddy.
to punch her in the stomach. Yeah,
Oh,
Yeah,
yeah.
She was
Cuddy
really-
from
Oh.
House.
she was really funny.
And I liked how that was the scene that they
Yeah.
did for the credits, and she fell to the ground, and so she was out of
Frame.
and then they did her name and a little arrow pointing out. I
Yeah,
thought
it
that
was
was
cute.
That was funny.
And that was the last name. Then it went to the traditional credits, and we didn't see if there's a post credit scene. There might have been.
It may have been
That was them like eating applesauce real quick, and then it cuts away because nothing makes sense.
like real quick.
yeah,
Wow, it was weird, guys. It was a weird
wasn't
movie. It wasn't bad.
but it was weird.
I was
Yeah.
definitely like invested in it.
yeah, I
Yeah.
liked it.
Yeah.
Also, long.
Long.
Longer than Endgame, yeah, for sure.
Critics agree it's longer than Endgame.
So let's take a little break, meditate on it, pray on
pray
it.
on
Oh
it.
my God. And then rate this.
It's the meet cute.
Yeah.
What do you guys want to do it out of?
I'm already recording. We could talk through it.
What should we rate it out of? Home cooked meals for the rabbi. Bar mitzvah voice cracks.
Aw, that's cute.
Yeah, let's do that.
Because Ben Stiller, for those of you who didn't watch the movie before listening,
Okay.
cool.
Weird that you listened to us talk about it and not watch
God,
it.
Yeah.
Enjoy your families. He like helps a kid whose voice keeps cracking and who keeps sounding really bad doing his bar mitzvah songs. He helps him find confidence in his voice cracks.
Yeah, cool.
Now, listen, actually, all of the religious things that they talked about were really well written, which is, again, why I would like to have seen a movie kind of just about them being
Yeah.
cool priest and cool rabbi.
Yeah, I forgot why the synagogue wanted him out, because he was like a really good rabbi.
And everyone really liked it because they wanted a little more tradition because he was doing things like there was the song, the Eloheinu. One of the songs was like super boring and Ben Stiller was trying to get them to put meaning into it. So they brought like the Harlem Gospel Choir to sing Eloheinu.
I actually really like
Me
that.
too.
Yeah,
I
it's
would
cute.
have seen more and more of those scenes because, again, the scene with this crackly bar mitzvah kid was really sweet because he was like, I suck. I'm so bad at this. And he's like, yo, there was a reason you do this when you're 13, when your voice is cracking. It's because, like, God is challenging you. Take that challenge and say, I suck, but I'm going to do this anyway. And it was really nice.
Right.
Yeah.
And having gone to many, many bat mitzvahs, I don't know. That was just like, it resonated with me, and I'd never had one.
So to honor that, we're doing
To
it
honor that.
out of 5 bar mitzvah voice cracks.
Yes.
First up, the chemistry. And I guess do we do the chemistry between Ben Stiller and Anna
I
and
think so.
Edward Norton and Anna?
I guess so, because,
Oh, so separate ones or like
I think average out between the two.
yeah, let's
Okay.
average them out.
Sure.
Although I feel like it's really more between Ben Stiller, but I'm going to go straight down the middle, like 2.5. It was fine. Maybe not a full 3, so 2.5.
I'm going with a 2. It was a 1 between Edward Norton and Anna.
Yeah.
And if they were trying to make us think it was anything stronger, they failed. I don't know if the intention was for them to have us really believe that they had a relationship.
Right.
Yeah.
Because it just wasn't there. So that's why it was weird to me because I didn't know what their intention was.
I think our character was one of those people who maybe had chemistry with everyone, so it's hard to
because
judge.
she was like such a flirty. 'Cause
Yeah.
she almost was flirting with those guys at work too, not in like a bad way, but in
No,
like
I think that was just her character, which
yeah.
I liked her as a character. I think
Right.
I like people like that, but that's not chemistry in this way.
Yeah, I would give like a 3 between her and Ben Stiller, so a 2 to even it out.
Okay, then give me a 2.5 for the same reason. Yeah, because I would have gone higher for Ben Stiller, but
Yeah.
almost nothing for. Yeah.
Instead of best friends, because the 2 leads are the best friends, it'd be kind of hard to justify who was who. So we're going to do friendship.
Aw, the
Alter it a
power
little
of
bit.
friendship.
Yeah.
Honestly, I really liked this pair.
Same.
Again, I would have watched a movie just about their friendship. So
Yeah.
give me a 4. Give me a 4. That's high, right?
Same here.
Yeah.
They were great. They
Yeah.
were so likable.
Give me a 4.5.
In fact, give me a 4.5.
Yeah, I wanted more of them. And
Yeah.
also I'm very hesitant about doing a 5. So give me the highest I'll do.
Yeah, I don't want to give this movie a very high score.
Right.
No, it was the friendship was really there. It felt believable. They were funny together. They were likable.
They had chemistry.
They weren't even that likable
they should have gotten
separately.
together.
Yeah, they should have. That would have been a better movie.
They weren't even like that likable as individuals, but together they were really likable.
Right,
So that's why
right.
friendship is there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good stuff. Romance.
One?
Yeah.
I wasn't romantic.
Yeah. What was the grand gesture at the end?
Going to the building and having the banana.
Sex guy. Yeah.
Sex? What?
Because remember, he had to go up to that other building.
Yeah.
Oh, that was a funny sequence, by the way, when he was trying to get into the building, and that guy kept
the security guard.
picking him up.
Oh well.
Anyway, so yeah,
there were funny moments in this movie for sure. Which leads us to
one. Yeah, one.
Mm-hmm.
It just wasn't that romantic, and not in a bad way. It just was like, eh.
Well, because the whole relationship started because they were just secretly having sex. It wasn't even supposed to be romantic until accidentally they fell in love.
Right.
Yeah, and comedy. I laughed a bunch. I thought it was well written. 3.5.
I laughed a good amount actually. Not
at least
a lot.
I recognized the humor, I guess.
Like 3.
And we've talked about this before, like a humorous tone. I think it had a good humorous tone throughout.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Where even if you're not laughing, you feel like you have the experience.
Yeah, you're having a good time.
Yeah, and I think that counts.
Yeah. 3.5 then, I guess.
That's kind of high.
It is.
I feel like this movie's going to do better than it felt.
But at the same time, did you think it was a bad movie, or did you just...
I thought it was a not good movie that I enjoyed.
Sure.
Yeah.
I think the scores are all over the place, and I think that adds up. This movie was... Not that the movie was all over the place, but the movie was just a little bit just like... I don't know. It's like weird. It didn't quite know what it wanted to be sometimes.
You know when dogs, like really cute dogs, do that thing where they tilt their head and go, And it's one of those.
Yeah.
Not a bad, but it's endearing
It was
like
cute,
that.
but what's it doing?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm going to add these up. You guys talk amongst yourselves. Tell some stories.
Oh, God. Have you... I'm Catholic, but I'm not Catholic. I'm not anything.
Okay.
But Catholicism sucks.
I hear. I've never...
Why
I
did
think
they
I've
make him
only been
Catholic?
to one... I think because that's like the strongest, like...
I guess because then he's not...
We've added up the scores. And keeping the faith gets 11 bar mitzvah voice cracks out of 20, or...
Why do we still do that at 20?
I like it now.
Or 5.5 voice cracks out of 10. Or 55% of a bar mitzvah voice crack.
You know what? That adds up to me.
This makes
does.
sense, yeah.
It's just
Because
straight down the middle.
Because it's a little more than straight down the middle.
Yeah.
And I think it's even slightly lower than I like the film overall, but the sum of its parts.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was, a fine time.
So we got one more segment for you here. It's called Do You Believe in God?
I was just going to do that joke.
Everyone call in.
Haley, do you believe in God?
I'm not sure if I believe in God as a single person. I think I believe in kind of like deists, kind of like the founding fathers. The
Doctor
founding
Strange.
No.
Doctor Strange. Yeah.
No, kind of like the founding fathers. They believe the God within themselves and how they connect to the universe.
Edward, do you believe in God?
I disagree with organized religion because I think I think saying that you have to believe this or else is
crazy.
Against what the idea of God is. So yes and no.
That's beautiful. Zach?
I'm waiting to be asked the question.
Zach, do you believe in God?
Do you believe in God?
I don't think it's my place to say. I believe in whatever can make someone be comfortable as long as they're responsible with it. And if that's believing in God, that's fine. But
I believe in the Scorpion King.
Oh, I believe in the That brings us to our last segment. Do you believe in the Scorpion King?
Too much.
I'm here. I love your podcast.
Scorpion King.
This is the best night ever.
Does anybody want to smoke a blunt?
Only if you do it, Scorpion King.
Light me up, Edward.
Oh, your claws are so sharp.
One day you'll have sharp claws.
Oh, I'm growing them now. Thanks, Scorpion King.
And that's what this podcast is about. If you liked what we did just now,
not the podcast, just that last bit.
We wrote that. If you like,
we rehearsed it.
Originally, Haley was Cat's the Scorpion King, but it hit too close to home. Haley, cough into the mic.
Now it's so dirty.
Ew. If you like what we did, please reach out to us at meetcutecast on Instagram and Twitter, or at themeetcutecast@gmail.com. We're always listening. Let us know what movies you want us to do. Tell us a story, whatever. We're here for you.
Pray.
My name is Zach.
My name is Haley.
And I'm Edward.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam v'hitzi haaretz, the meet cute.
These blunts aren't going to light themselves.
Amen.